When Cleveland air traffic controllers heard screaming and sounds of a struggle aboard United Flight 93, FAA headquarters was slow to respond.
At 9:49, 13 minutes after getting the question from Cleveland Center about military help, Command Center suggested that someone at headquarters should decide whether to request military assistance.
They're pulling Jeff away to go talk about United 93.
Do we want to think about scrambling aircraft?
Oh, God, I don't know.
That's a decision somebody's going to have to make probably in the next 10 minutes.
Everybody just left the room.
Moments later, Flight 93 crashed in a field in Pennsylvania. With chilling audio tapes of the hijackers confronting their victims as a backdrop, the 9/11 Commission painted a portrait of confusion and poor official communication throughout the frenzied morning of September 11, 2001. In the final day of hearings, the Commission staff reported on the response by the Federal Aviation Administration and the military's North American Defense Command, or NORAD. The staff said neither was prepared to react to hijacked planes that would become weapons.
In sum, the protocols in place on 9/11 for the FAA and NORAD to respond to a hijacking presumed that 1. The hijacked aircraft would be readily identifiable and would not attempt to disappear. 2. There would be time to address the problem through the appropriate FAA and NORAD chains of command. And 3. The hijacking would take the traditional form, not a suicide hijacking designed to convert the aircraft into a guided missile. On the morning of 9/11, the existing protocol was unsuited in every respect for what was about to happen. What ensued was the hurried attempt to create an improvised defense by officials who had never encountered or trained against the situation they faced.
We're going to take a closer look tonight at another example of where, despite the conventional wisdom, there were people in the United States who actually were preparing to defend against the kind of attacks which occurred here on 9/11. The North American Aerospace Defense Command, NORAD for short, has been defending the skies over the U.S. and Canada for almost 50 years, 46 to be precise. USA Today reports that in the 2 years before the attacks on September the 11th, NORAD conducted exercises using hijacked airliners as weapons. And one target was the World Trade Center.
We knew he hated us. But there was nobody in our government, at least, and I don't think the prior government, that could envision flying airplanes into buildings on such a massive scale.
I don't think anybody could have predicted that they would try to use an airplane as a missile, a hijacked airplane as a missile.
But that turns out not to be true. U.S. military planners did envision and practice those very scenarios. As reported by USA Today, the North American Aerospace Defense Command, NORAD, conducted exercises with fighter jets, simulating hijacked planes flown into the World Trade Center in the 2 years before the attack. Pentagon planners also envisioned the attack on the Pentagon 5 months before it happened.
Well, I read you were like the former defense minister of Canada.
Right.
So you must, obviously you must know a lot of stuff. I was reading about you on the internet.
You were, right?
And I came across some stuff about 9/11.
About 9/11, did you?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not anxious to answer questions on that subject. I don't know what's on the internet, but I still stick by my statement that there are a lot of unanswered questions. And one of them, of course, is why the interceptors from Andrews Air Force Base weren't up there long before they were, and then why they were unarmed. There are a lot of things, but I haven't studied it, so I'm not an expert on the subject.
James Meigs is with us today. He's the editor and publisher of Popular Mechanics magazine. They've also published a book, Debunking 9/11 Myths, Why Conspiracy Theories Can't Stand Up to the Facts. Like I said, I could write a similar title myself. The foreword is by U.S. Senator John McCain, and it is edited by David Dunbar and Brad Reagan, both investigators and writers for Popular Mechanics. Let me interject this, because I believe you use Major Douglas Martin as one of your experts, one of your sources for this information.
He's the NORAD spokesman, yeah.
Okay, and he is on the record as saying from September 11th to June, NORAD scrambled jets are diverted combat air patrols 462 times, almost 7 times, he says, as often as the 67 scrambles from September 2000 to June 2001. So just the year prior to 9/11, according to your source, Major Douglas Martin, spokesperson for NORAD, he says 67 scrambles happened from 2000
but you have to read the rest of the sentence in the newspaper article. You go back to the original story.
Well, what more do we have to know than that? I mean, he comes right out and says it.
Let me read the end of the sentence to you. He says 67 times, but not over the continental United States. NORAD was set up to intercept aircraft coming in from overseas. Remember, this was a Cold War era defense structure. Night Raiders could you
being stupid.
Hang on a second.
I've got family that are pilots, Mags, who've been intercepted. If your plane goes off course into military airspace over Fort Hood in Texas, you got F-16s on your tail so fast it makes your head spin. I was in Civil Air Patrol. I've been at airports when F-16s make planes land because they got off course. I've seen it. So don't even try. I've been in aircraft. You're a liar. They're trying to play war games there.
Yeah.
Because it's to the auspices of the Air National Guard. Because before 9/11, they didn't have NORTHCOM, so because of Posse Comitatus to operate over the United States in a non-declared, a military operation.
So it's just semantics. I know you've heard the NORAD tapes, and they don't know, is this real time or is this really happening? What's going on? They're extremely confused because of these drills. In fact, because of the drills, the NORAD radar screen showed as many as 22 hijacked airliners at the same time. Can I run this by you too, James? Because this is how it works. We're not saying definitively, at least I'm not, that we know exactly what happened on that day of 9/11. We just know it didn't happen, and that's why I call myself a debunker, James. Mr. Miggs.
Derek in Canada. Derek, are you there?
I'm here.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good.
What do you want to talk about
Greetings
today?
from the great. I want to talk about Popular Mechanics.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm so sick and tired of listening to people try to debunk 9/11 truth through Popular Mechanics. And if you go to PumpItOut.com, you'll hear my friend Jeff Schur talking to Dr. Thomas Fuller. He's a NORAD historian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Someone was just posting about this on the Loose Change site.
Yeah. Well, if you want to go there, I mean, you can listen to the guy pretty much say that, he doesn't know where Popular Mechanics gets their information from. It's just ridiculous.
And so when magazines like Popular Mechanics put out an article saying that there had only been one interception in the decade before 9/11, you could say that they were wrong about that then?
Yeah, I'm not sure what source they used. I'm not sure they had full information. I'm not sure what source they were using. No, I'm not familiar with that.
So that wouldn't be an accurate source to quote?
I'd quote the public affairs person before I would quote Popular Science or whatever.
Okay, and then Popular Mechanics also says about that quote that at the end of the quote he says that 67 scrambles in the September 2000 and June 2001, but not over the continental U.S.
I don't know what they're referring to. Launched for U.S. Over the U.S.
So that wouldn't really make
If we were alerted, we would be able to intercept.
If you were alerted, you could intercept anywhere, whether it be going over the Pacific Ocean or going to, Michigan or something like that?
That's correct. Now, obviously, planes were up there flying with the Payne Stewart thing, and that was over the U.S.
Right, and then I definitely remember that Cessna that was straying towards the White House.
Correct. We launch aircraft to intercept depending on direction, and higher authorities give us direction to intercept or launch aircraft, to investigate, etc.